Welcome back to the Low APM Challenge. It's a new season. We played a few games, made it to Diamond 2. We're going to continue to learn to work smarter and not harder. Just to reiterate, the point of all of this is after looking at hundreds, thousands of replays of lower level players, of previously being a lower level player myself, still am, just not as low as I once was. And just generally consolidating all of the mistakes players make, and correcting a whole lot of, I guess, myths about them. A lot of players, so when it comes to Starcraft 2, a lot of players are looking for metrics to improve. It's a single-player game. And you don't have teammates telling you what to do for better or worse. It's hard to blame your teammates as well, and let's be honest, most people who blame balance at the Gold League are either never going to improve or really don't truly believe that anyways. But I think one of the stats that really people look at is APM. APM is literally how fast you are. It's how many actions per minute you make. And a lot of people, that's pretty low-hanging fruit. As, well, if I have more APM, that means I'm doing more things. No. I guess literally yes, but practically and meaningfully no. What we're doing is showing that meaningful actions, planned out beforehand, without huge amounts of micro or crazy strategies, are more than enough to get you to the top open league in StarCraft 2. Grandmasters is the top league, of course. But it is limited to 200 players. The top league you can achieve that isn't locked by a limit of players is Masters. And we're going to get there with under 100 actions per minute, which I think is below significantly not just your average Masters player, but your average Diamond player as well. We made it to Diamond 2. And so far, no losses in Diamond. But here's the challenge. For Terran and Protoss, under 100 actions per minute. For Zerg, 120. The reason is because we're still maintaining that semblance of educational value. I know there are a lot of people who are just like, well, Winter, I wanna just watch a 4-hour video, think about that one time I played StarCraft in 2013, but now I don't want to play a game that's more stressful than both work and home life. So I enjoy playing Direct Strike, and that's fine. And then there are the people who I know nothing about StarCraft, but your voice lulls me to sleep until you start saying, wake up! It's time to wake up! We're doing StarCraft! And stuff like that. But if you are those people, well, let's just get it out of the way. Like and subscribe and move on. And I will continue to talk about StarCraft. But for the possibly minority percentage of players who actually want to improve, the reason why Zerg has that 120 APM is they're just more built-in actions with Zerg. Like when it comes to building a unit, you have to select a hatchery, then select the larva, then build the unit, which is more actions than it takes to, say, build a marine. Zerg just has marginally higher APM, and since I don't want to be cutting corners, I think I could cut corners and make it under 100 APM, but I still want to be able to do the things I think are important without having to cut big parts of it out. And I think with 100 actions per minute as Terran and Protoss and 120 as Zerg, that's completely plausible so far. Have not lost a game in Diamond, and we've stuck to that challenge. I think it's 29 games. I think I've only failed 2 or 3 times going over. And what happens if I go over? Well, I have to pay for it. And I don't mean figuratively, I mean literally. I will be gifting subs to the chat. The Twitch chat. If you're watching live, that's your benefit. That's what you get for being on Twitch and waiting through everything and being like, Winter, when's the lower AP? Well, right now. It's right now. It's happening right now. So the rule, if I go over 101 to 105, up to 5 over is 1 sub. Every 5 over the APM limit, I gift another sub to the chat. So 108, that's 2. 113, that's 3, and so on and so forth. And that's how I pay for it. So, with that, We're over halfway through Diamond 2. Diamond is quite a spacious league with a whole lot of MMR to get through. So, I saw some, I didn't see too many negative comments. I saw some positive ones. We're gonna put Twitch chat on the screen, which I'll probably regret within 1 or 2 games. So we'll see. But for those of you on YouTube wondering, well, who is he talking to? No, they're even dumber than you think.
I'm sure this one will
So for the ultimate challenge to start, it's Zerg versus Zerg. Which is, so I've been doing, and I think this is perfectly fine. This isn't me cutting corners, but doing a gasless into roach play. Just +1 roaches with speed. That'll get you quite far. And like I've said every time, unfortunately, we're getting up into the leagues where people have a tendency to watch.
You got no minerals. Good job keeping that money down.
More StarCraft content, and I'm happy to say a lot of people watch my StarCraft content, and, well, welcome to the stream, Minnesota Yoda, which I assume that means, from the Nuts Clan. I'm cold. I've thought about getting some as well. My hands get real cold when I play too, like freezing. Even though sometimes I'm literally sweating. A very, very sweaty tryhard. But my hands get so cold after a game. It is, like, I see why they're so popular, like in GSL. Okay, so first things first, Overlords. Overlords are the one constant. Like, you and Cyril, neither of you can make your Overlords move faster. Obvious. Don't be like, Winter, but what about Overlord speed? Okay, shut up. What I mean is your Overlords can go to the same spot every game. They're not a super microbull unit. So I'm gonna check. He's going for a hatch first, then I'm gonna pull that Overlord back. Gonna get another Overlord at the front over here. I've got 2 Zerglings. We're just gonna leave them at home. I'm gonna get 2 more queens after this. I'm gonna have 4 queens total. When in doubt,
new queens. Brenda's here, and she's disappointed.
Shut up.
Hatchery cooked up a fresh queen. More Overlords, more happy Zerg.
I hope I made another Overlord, because otherwise that's a pretty big mistake. But now, right around 3 minutes, I'm getting these gas gassers. We're gonna chase down the Overlord.
You must construct, spawn more Overlords.
Go back to work. If I can kill 1 Ovi, that's already pretty decent. We're gonna pull these Overlords back just to the areas where obviously he could be sneaking by with Zerglings. That's what I'm looking at. Getting 3 in each gas.
Need more Overlords.
Getting supply blocked. That's one of my favorite things to do. If you haven't noticed yet. Moving on.
Your brood is under attack.
He's got some drones there. I don't know how to respond to that. And honestly, those type of people you probably shouldn't respond to. Just as a general rule. It's better for your peace of mind. Also an important strategy. Gonna get some roaches started up. Make sure this OV, he's already got some creep spread, which is actually gonna help me. I got the spine just in case. So with this, as my roach speed is about halfway done, I should have enough in order to build another hatchery. I hope I built some OVs. And a couple more. So if you get the lair first and then +1, +1 lair plus roach speed takes a little bit longer than the +1 upgrade itself. So usually that's a better priority. So the big dangers now, there's a chance he builds a bunch of roaches as well. Of course, that's on the table.
Need more minerals.
And then also,
Not enough minerals.
there is
Saturated yet?
mutas. Mutas are the second most dangerous option. Alright. I'm just going to rally across. The idea is we're hitting right as roach speed finishes and +1, which are a few seconds out.
Mutation complete.
I'm going to start +2. I'm a little supply block
Evolution
here as well.
complete. Your brood. More overlords, please.
He's building roaches. Take down this base.
You engage the enemy. On purpose?
So now I'm going to have a third and he is not. Check, he does not have +1. Important to note. If he doesn't have +1, I'll fight him because that's a huge upgrade advantage.
Spawn more overlords.
Just make sure my roaches are up in his business. I'm going to get a Hydralisk Den. We're going to inject some here. Adding some more roaches. And you see the effectiveness, like his roaches without the upgrades, they have significantly less damage output against other roaches. And that's what we're really leaning on there.
A mineral field has been
Pull back. I'm going to use that select the army hotkey in order to make sure I get all my units together. Now, I didn't really kill drones. That's something to point out.
mineral field.
I'm going to go for
Not enough
the
minerals.
Lurker Den as well. I'm making another round of drones. And of course, my main is starting to mine out. Do we have +2 attack? That's another big potential advantage. Let's get a
Not
few
enough
Hydras.
minerals. Are you saturated yet? That can only be morphed on creep.
We made some Ravagers. I'm going to put this back.
Brenda's ready to rumble.
Lurkers are, of course, a strong choice.
Mutation.
And I don't want to be running in, like, I have 3 bases now. I obviously killed his third. I'm going to get some basic Hydra upgrades. But let's go to 60 drones. Because right now, that's about your best. Okay. He has 1-1. And this attack timing is a little dicey. I need to try to keep him busy. I'm going to hotkey the Lurkers. Ravagers can counter
You must
Lurkers.
construct, spawn more overlords.
I'm going to try to keep him busy for a sec here. Just turn him around. Maybe kill a Ravager or 2. I'm going to do a fancy play.
The enemy is attacking your swarm.
He's backing off. He's scared, unfortunately. I was going to use Hold Fire Lurkers, but not today.
swarm is threatened. All done for now, anyway.
Get another base or two. I have the money, why not, right? He's just gone on an Overlord hunting expedition. But we will see. Is he still chilling up here? I'm kind of surprised he isn't. We can get the infestation pit for Hive.
The enemy. On purpose? More overlords, more happy Zerg.
Gonna hold position the roaches. Technically, the corrosive biles can counter the lurkers, as you see there.
The enemy is attacking your swarm. Your swarm is out.
I'm gonna make sure he doesn't have any other bases. A little bit of top tier micro. Those are some good corrosive biles. I think part of the reason he wasn't pressing the issue was because of this base existing. So this is I'm putting together a guide for you guys on how to lose as many units as possible to corrosive bile for no reason. I hope you guys are enjoying my guide so far.
More gas. How many guys is that 1 out of 3?
Just kind of running them down over here. Keep them busy, because I have more bases, so like as time goes on, this is going to get better for me. He also has a lurker den, so we just got to keep that in mind.
Brood under attack. Panic time.
Just run them around into the corner a little. Ideally, once this finishes, the hive, he's on top of that snipe. Oh, we have another army.
No minerals for that.
Where are my overseers? Gonna get the lurker upgrades. He actually has a very nice concave here. You gotta really trust in the lurkers to do the damage.
No minerals. Good job keeping that money down.
They do. Because like, if you fight directly into more than 5 lurkers, you are going to probably die, unless your corrosive biles are perfect. If you have like 12 ravagers, you can technically kill like 4 or 5 of the lurkers, but more realistically, probably not. Here comes the neighborhood.
Your brood all done evolving. For now, anyway. Mineral patch is gone. It's not coming back.
New subscriber detected. Folder boys.
Now that's
I don't know about that one. That was hard to tell. I was doing some cute micro. Like, once again, I'm trying to do everything, or at least the majority of the things I would do in a higher level game, but just boil it down to the most important parts of them. But that might have been a little on the high side. Nope. We're fine. It was hard to judge. How often do you use the select army hotkey to make sure you have all units not intentionally split? I actually use the select army hotkey a lot. You'll see it, and then I control click out groups of units. I'm just gonna show you an example of that because I use this a lot, actually, in a lot of different scenarios. It just kind of has worked its way into being a big part. No, different overlay. Doesn't work with this. But I'll show you an example. I actually think, like, the problem is a lot of people either they use the select army hotkey and it's the only hotkey they use, or they don't know how to use it or don't know about it, or are desperately trying not to use it. Finding a balance that actually helps is difficult. But so I'll show you in a moment once we get some roaches out. But like there, I wanted all my roaches to be with my army, but I didn't want the hydras because I want the hydras to wait for lurkers, for example. That was part, like, I want to be able to keep up the attack without my hydras being in a random location. But once we get hydras out here, I'll show you an example, and also maybe show you something you didn't know existed. That, much like Archon mode, everybody's like, oh my god, what a cool feature, and then no one ever used it. So, let's demonstrate that. Alright, my hydras are coming out. So.
I've never seen this screen before. Wow.
So like this scenario. I've got hydras out, I'm waiting for a lurker den. But I still want to put the pressure on with my roaches. And I don't want to go around trying to box all my roaches and figure it out. So here's what I do. Select all army, which I have rebound to the tilde key because F2 is a camera location. Select all army, control click roach, control 1. Let's just set hotkeys for everything that are different. Select all army, control, click, control 1. Suddenly you have all the roaches and none of the hydras. Or, same thing, hydras. I use that a lot, like with Protoss, with things like High Templar, or finding things like War Prisms. With Terran, it's for maybe all your ghosts or something like that. That's what I use it for. And yes, sometimes I'm like, select all army, let's go. Just throw it at them. But I think more often I'm using it for that. Thank you, Flaming Days, for 3 months. Soup Tree for 47. Camian for 4. Glad you still enjoy. I didn't notice. Let me check SC2 replay stats. It's not only for those amazing stats, but okay. Diamond 2 goes to 4,053 MMR. LeVar Burton. By this perfect opportunity for the meme format. Where's my meme format? Before the game loads.
Welcome back to Broadsley. Another game of Starcraft.
Where did I put it? Well, there you go. I done. So, he's not a fan of that. But anyways, we've been over this. And so on and so forth. Couldn't he have left immediately? Well, I was random, and then I told him my race. And I think he believed me. The That's the summary. LeVar! He's back. I don't like... Let's hope it's not Protoss.
You got this. One way or another.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh, my keyboard's fucked.
A follower. Is that all?
I forget how to fix this. Shit. Is my stream still on? Okay, I just mashed the keyboard. I'm so sorry. It did the thing where everything is like a command. Like you gotta hit Windows key and something else. I just jammed it. I panicked. So we're doing a 13 pull. 13 pull is like a 12 pull for people who can't commit to anything. It's also much more economical. That's a technical term. The thing is, so here's the disadvantage of random. Now he's probably gonna wall off the top of his ramp, which is probably gonna be better for him, to be honest. Let me go expand, please. Oh, he pre-pylon walled. That's a play. Do it again. Do it again.
Not enough minerals. Are you saturated yet?
Fight me, bro. So this relies on him freaking out, which I think is not unreliable. As the type of guy who's like, I'm not playing Protoss versus Protoss. Let's just make sure he's not over here. As you deal with the probe, you deal with the problem. Oh, he's trying to go home. He mineral walked. Can I just get this? I'm just gonna delay his expo. Cause this is actually a macro cheese. Thank you very much. Overlord, go back.
Good choice.
And what I mean by that is, if I expand, like, and I deny his expo, I should be ahead. Oh, his probes. Wait, is he hard-walled in? It's gonna be a yikes for me, dog. He has one probe, I think, on the low ground. Or maybe he snuck it out. I don't know if this helps or hurts him to kill this pylon. I mean, he's probably going to have an adept. But, like, this is his second pylon, right? So...
New queen. Brenda's here, and she's disappointed. Brood under attack. Panic time. Need more.
I'm gonna get another base. Okay, the entire point.
Is that an
I think I've helped him by killing that pylon, to be honest. I'm pretty sure that helped him.
Your brood needs friends.
Because now we can just expo. But, like, I'm just being a nice guy, okay? I'm a nice guy, TM. As you know. Check out Angry Coach today. So I'd imagine it'll be an Oracle first, but we will see. So now what we do is much like the Zerg strat, which is just get gas eventually. Yep, it's an Oracle, but we should have spores up in time. And now I really, like, I don't need you. We saw he had a Stargate, and that's about it, to be honest.
Hatchery cooked up a fresh queen.
Okay.
The enemy's
He's
all
expanding now. Brenda and Karen, get to the corner. He's gonna come back this way. Why do you have so many minerals? Roach Warren to block. Probably shouldn't put the Roach Warren as that. So this map is kind of odd that it has the this little area going on. But yeah, so this is one of the big mistakes of your average diamond player in general. Like, not Protoss specifically, just in general. Like, you get attacked once, and now for the rest of the game, you're under fear of he's coming back. So what I've done, he's built a shield battery, he's built a wall, a bunch of pylons. He's deathly afraid that instead of 8 Zerglings, there might be 16 Zerglings. But unfortunately for him, there will probably be something like 35 roaches. Maybe throw some hydras in the mix. We're gonna get to 66 drones, which is full 3-base saturation, aka like maximum efficiency. You've got as many drones mining minerals as are plausible here.
Not enough gas, but I'm sure you'll have more than enough later.
Gonna get roach speed, 5 more drones, actually 7 because we're gonna build 2 gas here. Gonna get an overseer, because I'm a little worried about what he could be doing.
You must place that on creep.
He's obviously very worried about what I'm doing. Get a 4th. This is honestly for larva more than shift 1, 2, 3. Right click, shift 1, 2, 3. Split them off. I mean, what I say is if you can't spend your larva, just if you have 1,000 minerals, build another hat. Oh wow, you went Phoenix. Okay. So one of the counters to Phoenix is just walking across the map with roaches.
You engage the enemy on purpose. Can't build there.
Chase down my roaches. They're very scary roaches. These are like Zerg Hex roaches. And now I'm gonna get my drone count back, and then I'm gonna go for Hydralis.
Your swarm is now bigger and brutal.
So if he picks up the roaches, he actually can't hit them with the zealots. So those are pretty mutually exclusive. He does have a void right now, but kind of a similar scenario to B4. Okay.
Evolution complete.
To
Mineral field
like,
depleted.
I've limited his economy, scared of roaches, but by the time I come back across, I'm gonna be going hydras. I already have those hydras. I'm gonna get Hydra speed. Hydra range is good defensively. Hydra speed is mostly for attacking off of creep. Is the key there. So
More gas. How many gas is that 1 out of 3?
that's a good question. None.
You require more Vespine gas.
And then as Hydra
The enemy
speed is finishing
attacking,
up,
Not enough gas.
Oh.
I'm sure more overlords.
it looks like he's changing his tech. All right, you see Twilight Council, Forge upgrading. So now is a good time to attack because he's currently working to his next level of tech, but he doesn't have it yet. So that means we're gonna catch him in purgatory, or whatever version of that you want to call it.
You got no minerals. Good job. keeping
Hydra
that money
speed
down.
will be done in a few seconds. We're gonna wait for a couple more reinforcements. His Phoenixes are on the wrong side of history right now. So this should be enough.
Mind out of that. The swarm.
What is it? Space flute.
We made it. So the Windows exploding, me hitting random hotkeys, I always forget what to do. I now have 3 tabs open that say sign into your Microsoft account. I don't even know how that happened. I'm just glad that it's still open. I'm gonna go with fuck off. Have you done a straight Ling Bane versus Toss in this series? I don't think so, at least not like as a point, because Lings and Banelings are unreliable units, because any player below Masters who relies on Lings and Banes is probably not relying on actually spending their money or having an economy, and once the Protoss player figures out how to actually wall off, maybe use Force Field a little bit, then Lings and Banes become significantly less effective. So I rely on the unenthusiastic hand job of unit compositions, which is Roach Hydra. It gets the job done, it doesn't take much effort, but it gets you where you want to be. That's like Roach Hydra. If you're like, well, what if he goes for... No. Roach Hydra. Maybe some Lurkers, maybe some Vipers, 88% of the time. 88% of the time. And like, you might be like, what about the other 12%? If you had an 88% win rate, are you going to come complaining to me about the other 10%? Okay. 88% win rate. I would, well, on my main, I have an 85% win rate in ZVZ. Protoss versus Zerg, on the other hand, is, like the opposite of that. It's a real struggle right now. And the reason is because I don't know how to cannon rush very well.
More pylons?
Oh yeah, Protoss time. Gone are the days of all of one race. Well, no Terran today, but... So once again, the reason we wall off in Protoss versus Protoss is because Adepts are very dangerous. If you're not planning to have a probe ready to wall off temporarily with like a shield battery, then there's no point in walling off. It will hurt you, not help you, because it just makes you more vulnerable. What are you doing back there? I see a lot of players are like, well, pro gamers wall off, so I'll wall off. And then Adepts get into their base. It's like, you kind of miss the entire purpose of this. The entire purpose is to minimize the effective... Well, 94% of the purpose is to minimize the effectiveness of Adepts. And then the other 6% is to be able to wall off against other things like DTs, but that is, once again, a minor concern compared to Adepts. So let's see where his second pylon. We all know about that pylon efficiency and necessary infrastructure safety. He does not have a second pylon in his main base. So where is it? Did he forget it? I doubt it. The obvious choice is a Stargate. The second most likely.
You must construct additional pylons.
So we're gonna check around here, down here, over here. This probe is gonna check all the other places. I'm gonna go ahead and get a robotics facility. This guy's gonna go scout back in. This probe needs to be watching for Adepts. Doing Adept-related things. Did he just forget his second pylon? He may have just expanded, I guess, but that would be pretty crazy. I'm actually just gonna get two. Never trust. Never assume. Actually, it's the opposite. You know the saying, like, never assume malice when incompetence
But have we learned anything?
is plausible or something like that. Whatever, something more eloquent. But in StarCraft, never assume incompetence when malice is on the table. So I've got 4 Stalkers and he expanded earlier, so I kind of feel pressured to do at least some attacking. Pops his Guardian Shield, he has 2 shield batteries. Alright, so here's what we do. We're gonna get a couple Immortals and a Warp Prism. Name a more iconic combo. I'm gonna get a Forge as well.
No minerals
And
for
we're
that.
eventually gonna make it to... I think a lot of people feel like, oh, I expanded... So, Protoss versus Protoss is not nearly as important to be expanding, like, at the same time or in a timely manner compared to other matchups. I found a second pylon, guys. Whatever happened to my hallucinated oracle? Oh my god, he moved all his probes! It's not... That oracle was halluc. It worked! So you can hallucinate a phoenix, or you can hallucinate an oracle. There's no way for him to tell that that's a hallucinated oracle without detection. So... yeah, it moves a little slower, but on the chance that he does think it's real, that's the literal example of mind games. Like, literally a hallucination. So that's a lot of mining time he lost. Gonna chrono boost things like upgrades. And another key point, it's Protoss versus Protoss, so I am gonna go up to more gates before I think about a third. Now, I don't think he's gonna fall for it again, so we're not gonna hallucinate any more oracles. I'm just gonna look around, because I have an observer in his base. I mean, why can't he do the same, right? So, first, Templar Archives, and then we're gonna go up to 6 gates.
Not enough minerals.
We're gonna look for 1 Templar Archives from him. Please don't die. I need to see if you have a Templar Archives yet.
The skies await.
Well, no. We're probably gonna need to have... I'm gonna get 2 more gates. Yeah. So, if you hadn't noticed, he's making a few gateways. The counter, Archons. Archons are amazing. Archons... Oh, what can't they do? You might be like, Winter, what about... No! No storms! Let's not lie to ourselves. You know how many Templar you've lost before getting a storm off for no reason? And also, Protoss units are pretty ridiculous. They have so much HP and shields, they're not gonna die in a storm. They got their shield umbrellas.
You need more gas
So.
for that.
I'm gonna get another pylon back here,
No minerals for that.
and it looks like he's going all sorts of in. So the most important thing here is going to be, well, actually, if he doesn't have Archons, force field, because I should be able to force field his units. Archons and force field are very important. Also, we can expect a Warp Prism in the main.
Need more minerals.
So I've got to be ready, like, just acknowledge that that's a possibility, in fact, a plausibility. And if a Warp Prism comes to my main, he tried. He was inspired. Like,
We got no minerals. Good job keeping our money down.
Those adepts are doing a pretty decent job. Like, he's gotten through my immortals. Which means we're gonna have to pull probes. Which I don't like. This attack doing a lot better than I hoped. Is this enough? It might be. He just has so much stuff. You gotta micro a little. Why are you hitting those? I think he's got me. So I remember a game almost exactly like this that was played by, I think it was Parting up against, or maybe it was SOS up against Zest. But, where it might have been, it was Parting or SOS. GG. That was a well-played timing. Where I'm like, okay, so he's got plenty of units up against adepts. No, that was just a solid build. He might have taken that from someone like that, but... And then suddenly the adepts just did so much damage. If you don't have a critical mass, I think one thing I could have used, and that was a legitimate our first loss. Congratulations to Mr. Fester. Diamond League no longer. I think, well, I mean, that was just a good timing. But I think I needed a Warp Prism to be able to juggle units. I could have used more shield batteries. I got overconfident. I thought a few Archons would be enough to hold that. But no, it was better. Yeah, the Warp Prism for juggling is a big part. Even a little bit of micro to keep units alive. But I underestimated the adepts. So that is a timing steal. It was SOS or Parting, and I think they were versus Zest. Or Stats. I don't know. A Protoss who's like, what is happening to me right now? That was it. But as soon as those adepts started chewing through. Also, adepts are great against charge lots as well, because they do extra damage to light. But that's a legit loss right there, which means not only am I going to gift one sub, that's 5. Because I made a mistake, and now I must pay. Yeah, I laughed at the hallucinations, but they projected themselves quite well. I gotta say.
Oh, a follower. Is that all?
Thank you, Kaori, as well, getting on the train.
Oh, good. Now I have your attention.
Well played. That is our third loss of the series. The first one was to a Barcode Protoss in silver who D-ranked to stream snipe me. But still a loss. Maybe not the most. That was a Protoss. The second was another Protoss versus Protoss. I think it was in Platinum against someone in Florencio's clan who proxied DTs and then waited so long with proxy DTs that I didn't think it was proxy DTs anymore and just straight up killed me. A classic Florencio clan move.
Oh, good.
And then
Now
that
I have
game.
your attention.
Oh, here we go again.
New subscriber detected.
Every game I've lost so
New
far has been to
subscriber
Protoss.
detected.
And so I want to take this time to talk about this is why I think a lot of players feel Protoss is not necessarily imbalanced, but like they need to be nerfed in certain ways. Because when you lose to Protoss, a lot of the time it feels like, well, I guess I'm just dead. That same feeling doesn't usually happen nearly as much against Terran or Zerg. But it's partially like just how Protoss works. They have a lot of strong units, they have a lot of strong tech that if it comes online in a timely manner and it's used relatively well, it can just straight up smash. The thing is, especially the top level, players who are well prepared for things like Storm, or Disruptors, or DTs, there can be the other side of the coin as well. If you watch plenty of pro games, it's like, oh, so that didn't work out, and now Innovation's gonna pick this man apart. But it definitely, I hesitate to say the word gimmicky, but to be true, to speak the true, Protoss does have more gimmicky feeling stuff than the other races. That's just kind of their nature. Ask Artosis. So, ask Artosis in Brood War, not in Starcraft 2. Very important to make that distinction.
Pylons. Need more pylons.
I know what I need. I think we're gonna advance. Alright, guys. We're getting close to Diamond 1. I'm gonna advance to Diamond 1 builds. I'm gonna use
Still can't work there.
still low APM, but Masters build. Like, I'm gonna start trying to do the builds I would do on the ladder. So, opening Stargate. You're gonna build one Oracle, and then a Phoenix. Maybe I'll micro the Oracle. I just want the threat of the Oracle out there. Really, that's the important part. On top of that is basic scouting. First Adept goes out. Just gonna shade across. I got my Stargate before building Warp Gate, which is a pretty common strat just to be able to get the Stargate in a timely manner. Because warping in units is not a top priority. Nope. Hotkey that Stargate. I'm gonna scout into the main. I'm just like, this Adept is kind of like a scouting Reaper. Does he have a lair on the way? He doesn't. He has a third? Alright, my work here is done. Go home. Third base, no lair. Didn't seem to be an overwhelming amount of units, but it's not decisive yet. I'm gonna get a Phoenix behind as well. The Phoenix will have a pathing to scout for Overlords at 4 minutes. Usually a little bit before 4 minutes is better. I'm gonna get 2 more gas in a robotics facility. I'm gonna use the more Neeb style. I'm not gonna do an Archon drop. I'm just gonna go have an Immortal follow-up is the plan.
The threads of fate lie bare.
Your research is complete.
Okay. Don't want to actually lose the Oracle. So, what are the takeaways here? That's a lot of drones. He had plenty of drones there. So what I want to do is try to get my third base as soon as possible.
The firstborn shall persevere.
I'm just going to put...
Short.
Get a probe out there, mineral walk it through. The Oracle's looking around, but my priority is getting this third base up. I'm going to make a little gap with pylons, so this way I can jam Adepts in there. Like so.
We meet our fate.
Brendas!
I see. The enemy
Pretty quick reaction times. I'm going to use the Phoenix now for that scouting I was doing. And now Twilight and Forge. I'm going to get 2 observers. I'm already going to queue up an Immortal while chrono boosting here. So far, it looks like he's going heavily into economy, which isn't the end of the world for me. But my focus is on now building the army I want. Okay, he doesn't have a lair done. This is very important.
More power to you.
Chrono boost. the supply blocked. Oh wait, no, that's not supply blocked. Okay, I'm fine. I'm not that dumb. +1. Templar Archives. Charge. So he's kind of like, we're kind of skipping the, well, what are you up to phase. And we're going straight into the more mid-game phase. Wow, his lair's quite late.
Not enough minerals. Are you saturated?
He's worried about me here. I'm gonna chrono boost probes for a little while. Transfer some probes over. Was his lair done yet? Wow, it still wasn't done. I'm looking for tech. He has these gases, or at least one of these gases.
You took all the minerals from that cluster, you thief.
He's going roaches with speed. Okay. Gonna get 1 cannon. I'm gonna get a couple more gates as well. What are we at? We're gonna go to at least 8. So now my objective is to get the upgrades and then max out as quick as possible. While still building Immortals, Archons, and Charge Lots. I'm gonna be looking at about 4 Immortals once I get that. You're not real. Don't lie to me. I'm gonna go to 10 gates. I don't trust myself. Macroing too hard. And I have cannons. This is kind of just like in the off chance he goes straight to mutas. I don't think he is. But okay, roaches and hydras. I'm gonna get a second robotics.
Research.
At some point, I'm gonna need to think pretty hard about Storm.
An upgrade's been completed.
I'm gonna have some zealots going out though. Okay, we'll get Storm now.
A mineral field.
1 more Immortal. Yeah, we need Storm. With that many units, you're not real either. I'm gonna need to have some of it. We're both kind of in the build-up phase here. I need to make sure no Nidus gets into my base. Thankfully, the observers are doing good work here. And now they're dead, which is very sad. So we didn't have that base.
More gas.
Okay. He does have this one. Chrono boost. Oh yeah, I still have an Oracle. I usually hotkey an Oracle on 6 is my default.
Can't put it there. We've been over this.
You seek guidance?
There's his army.
We meet our
I'm gonna hotkey a Warp Prism in, because a big counterattack is the play. Storm is done.
Research finished, but I'm still waiting.
Make Archons. Keep making Immortals. I'm gonna warp in some Zealots to hit this base.
Good job.
Where is my Observer? I'm just gonna hit Revelations here. So, I don't want to move out before getting more Storms. Because he has an art, like, the danger right now is that even though I crushed that first army, he still has the economy. So, whoop, missing that. I'll go ahead and get another. He can still build plenty of units. So I need to rebuild the army. Now I have the Warp Prisms out, which is very important. Gonna get this.
More gas. How many gas is
A few more Templar. His observer coverage is very good. I mean, his Overlord. His Zerg observers.
Nice. You require more Vespine gas.
Got some more Immortals. Gonna get another Archon. I like to have a few I like to have a couple Templar just charging up back at home, so you always have like a reserve of Templar. I'm gonna get Blink.
Need more
Warp
minerals.
in a little more on this side.
Let us begin.
We're gonna start clearing the creep. So, a lot of players will really love that select all army hotkey. That's what we see here. Oh, those are Broodlords, which is a smart move. I should have enough to help deal with this so far.
How many times?
So even if I can't kill the Broods, I should be able to get a lot of the ground army. Sentries killing Broodlords is a new experience. The Broodlords are a very smart move, though. We're gonna need more Archons here.
Did not take sample.
Let me out. So I have to rely on my army being somewhat more mobile. This is obviously not a great scenario for me. The Broodlords came a little quicker than I was ready for them. The correct answer is Tempest with a Fleet Beacon, but there's a lot of work to be done here. Especially if I end up getting hit a little before I'm ready.
Research. Mineral patch is gone. It's not coming back.
That's not a good fight.
Base is under attack. Do you recall recall?
I need more Archons. That is a key point here.
You're all mined out.
The
of that
fact
minute.
I'm able to stay alive this long is important, but
Mined out of that cluster.
alright. He's kind of backing off on this for now. Let's get
A
this
mineral
going.
field has been depleted. Can't put it there. We've been over this. Can't warp there.
The big thing for him
You've
so
exhausted
far
that speed geyser.
is just overall a lack of bases, which is why I'm still in this.
Not enough minerals.
Like,
Are
he
you
just doesn't have
saturated
that
yet?
many bases. Whereas I do. So. I'm building up a huge counterattack because the next time we fight is going to be pretty deciding. How many probes? 96 probes is actually
Mineral
too many
field
probes.
depleted.
Is part of the problem. We need
No
some
more
oracles.
units. No more gas
I need to
left
hit
in that
this
gas.
base.
I'm sure it's pretty waste, right?
We, my charge.
You took all the minerals from that cluster, you thief.
State thy bidding. Our minds.
Gonna clear all this creep.
It's not coming back.
The oracle is important for seeing the broodlords. He has lurkers now as well. Like with the
Your mags,
tempest,
you took all
that
the
is.
minerals from that cluster, you thief.
Did I get +1? It's almost done.
Upgrade completed.
My charge.
You're all mined out.
Starting to
of that
get a little
upgrade, it's all
desperate,
done.
which is what we want.
Your base is crumbling under enemy attack. A mineral field. Enemies in your base, looking for your artillery stock. Mined out of that cluster, and still in the game? Nice. Save the pylon, save the world.
Does he have any more broodlords?
Your probes are under attack. Mineral patch is gone, and it's not.
The Zella counterattacks have been very good. And that's the way to get there in the first place.
Mineral, they're attacking your base. Give
Can
them
I
some
build
trouble.
more Stargates? I definitely needed more. That lurker is helping a lot.
Mined out of that cluster, and still in the game? Nice. Can't save those probes. You can't build cannons without them.
Castle de Templar. Our minds
Your base is under attack. Base is under attack. Do you recall? More Vespine gas. Not enough gas, but I'm sure you'll have more than enough later.
Oracle receiving.
They're attacking your base. Give them some trouble. More gas.
Make sure I'm mining this.
The threads of fate. From Erodine Washagal.
This base has become very important.
I see. New subscriber
You
detected.
require more Vespine gas.
No.
You have engaged the enemy.
We need to defend this as well.
You seek guidance?
You got no minerals. Good job keeping that money down.
Extrapolating streams. Nazi time.
That indicates that he's probably out of minerals. I mean, out of gas, rather. My PVZ is a mess. The Broodlord timing was very good. No! Way over. I mean, in comparison, but... I was a little bit afraid. That is the weakness of going so heavily for the ground, is if he gets Broodlords in a really timely manner. What achievement? Let's see. Using warp prisms, warping 50 units in a single game. An expensive win. Yes. Yeah, there are a lot of warp-ins. He was on top of it. He's been Masters. Not recently though, but that was... I could barely keep up. Yeah, sure, I could maybe done some more micro at certain points, but still. Alright. Well, I pay for that one. But at what cost? The cost is 5 subs. Because I was over 20 over.
Oh, a follower. Is that all?
5 to the people.
Oh, good. Now I have your attention. Oh, a follower. Is that all?
Thank you all, WWW, and True War Wiz as well.
New subscriber detected.
Yes, that does cost me. They don't just let me give free subs to everyone, believe it or not.
Is that all?
Amazon is not the most... You believe it or not, Amazon isn't like, here, have free money for no reason.
Good. Now I have your
But
attention.
thanks all WWW for gifting 5, making it a little better.
New subscriber detected.
Some Zerg. We will never play Terran. No Terran allowed. There are no Terran. Like, honestly, Gotta watch my blood pressure.
Oh, good.
Diamond Terran just
Now I
too
have
salty.
your attention.
Too salty.
New subscriber detected. New subscriber detected.
So, my second overlord is gonna look for proxies. Some players, like, especially depending on if they're up against Maru, they'll just start sending their overlords
Now
out
I
towards
have
the
your
proxy
attention.
locations. I liked, I think it was Innovation.
Need more minerals.
Who was it against? I might have been Cyril. I think it was
Now
Raynor.
I have your attention.
Like, he put his, on Eternal Empire, which is the most standard of standard maps, he put his proxy racks at the watchtower, which, like, if you send your overlord out like a normal person... Oh, wait, he's Zerg. What am I doing? He's not proxy raxing. Anyways, I don't know why proxy raxes were in my head. Now I have a weird pool location. What was I saying? But Innovation put his proxy rexes in the most direct possible path for the Overlord, which is a top-tier mind game, because almost no top-tier Zergs will just send their Overlord straight out. They'll look for the proxy rexes, which are supposed to be off to the side. Unfortunately, Raynor just kind of saw it and killed his SCVs, and it was a disaster. But... but the idea was there. But how smart was that? Like, it was a total failure. But, what could have been? And then he proxy raxed again and was perfectly good. Like, it was actually super effective. And Raynor lost. I mean, spoilers. And also, it didn't just end there, but... because that's the biggest Rain move. First, like,
Queen
step
ready.
one.
Brenda's ready to rumble.
Why can't I... Okay, there we go. Alright. Step one is proxy rax and fail. Step two is
Need
proxy
more
rax and
overlords.
succeed. We got a lot of things there, my friend.
Brood under attack. Panic time. Not enough. Your brood needs friends. More overlords.
Okay.
please. The enemy is attacking your swarm.
I'm not risking it. Like, he has so many lings right now. My only job is to not die to this.
Overlords.
I can just kill my... Like, I will kill my own evolution chamber, okay? If need be. And probably will need be. Why am I supply block? Bro. This supply block is really bad, though. This was a timing when I really need to have drones producing. So that way my economy gets to where it needs to be in a timely manner. Alright, he's building drones. And then I'm at 44 drones. Alright, we're good. Now a few OVs. Then the lair finishes, we get speed. We are relying on the fact that still, like... Oh, he built a Bane nest, and he's walling off with it. Speed. 44 drones are full 2-base saturation. Never wanna let you go. Alright, take this one down. First, we're going to take down both Evo chambers. Rip Evos for the greater good.
You engaged the enemy. On purpose?
Alright, speed and +1 are finishing. And I got a little supply block here, which sucks. The supply blocks are so real. Start +2. Speed is done. Try to get on top of those roaches.
Your brood needs a mineral field open.
And I was relying on the fact that he built that many early Zerglings, which means to catch up economically, he overshot by a large margin. And also, there was, in order to get a third base, Zerglings with speed, and Baneling Nests, believe it or not, I know this sounds crazy, but those things cost money. They cost minerals, they cost gas. So, when he did all of that, and also larva. Larva is a resource Zerg players don't really think about as a resource, but especially when in the early game, when you don't have that many injects, you don't have that many hatcheries, you have a limited pool of larva. So even if you do have the minerals, if you got a small loan of 1 million minerals, it wouldn't matter very much if you could only have 6 larvae or 10 larvae or whatever, because you just spent it all on lings, and now you have to wait for more drones. And that's part of the reason that I said that supply block hurts so much. Is because not just I need to be building drones there, but I need to be building drones so the larva that builds, like the 3 larvae that comes out of the hatchery, was refreshing. Like the quicker you build it, the quicker more larva comes back, and then you have another round quicker. It's not just about spending your money, it's about spending your larva in a timely manner. So, like, for example, a player who doesn't build for a minute instead of a player who's building every time they get a larva, because a larva takes about, I think it's 12 seconds, 12 or 13, to respawn. So you missed out on 5 larvae, essentially, if you didn't build for a minute. Microing those Zerglings, which did so much for you, didn't they? So. I'm gonna find the exact number. I probably should know. Every 11 seconds. Okay, so, close. It used to be 15 before we switched to real time. So even more than 5 larvae. Wonder how many games it takes to get Terran as random. That many. Is he Zerg? No, Terran.
Can't build there. It's like you never even had a plan. No minerals for that.
Now I have your attention.
Thank you, Dr.
Always
Bigglesworth.
great content.
You must construct additional supply depots. Not enough minerals. Are you saturated yet?
I am gonna do the 2 gas play. Like I said, I'm doing masters builds. I'm shaving them down pretty significantly, but. And of course, my build. So the way I I'm a very hands-on learner, to the dismay of the backseat grandmasters in Twitch chat. If I haven't done it myself, I'm probably, like, I'm not going to read a piece of paper and be like, oh, now I know what to do. What I'll do is, like, I'll see a game, I don't know, like, Innovation has a sick build, and then I'll try to do that build. I'm not going to write down exactly, like, this timing for this and that and whatever. I just try to do the build 4 or 5 times, and then by the 4th or 5th time, I'm like, oh, so this is why, like, you start to get a feel for why, not just how. And that's why we can do this series, because against most of these opponents, it's not just playing faster, but it's also playing smarter.
Command center upgrade.
Like that last guy who built 20 Zerglings for no reason. It's like, but why did you build 20 Zerglings? I don't know. It's worked before. It's like, well. We are going to micro this. Because killing that Reaper is a big deal. It's a proxy Rex. That was about as bad as it could have gotten. That's actually really bad. I need to not lose any Reapers. Thank you. And suddenly... how the turntables have turned. 3 Hellions are a significant advantage. And a Liberator could potentially win the game, though I think this is 2 Rags, not 3 Rags. So that means he should be able to have a factory at home. But we'll see. There's definitely another Rags, though. Is his Rags at home?
Build supply depots.
I think he might have a barracks at home.
Your add-on is all done.
I'm gonna go for a 3rd base. Gonna get... well, I'm gonna let the scouting do it.
Add-on complete.
Get a Raven.
How can we help?
Add-on finished up. You picked that.
And... so wait, I actually want to see, like, did he hide another barracks? There was only one Wait. Oh, okay, so he 2 Rex and then he just sent another barracks out earlier. Yeah. I was like, the amount of Reapers has to be, like, physically, it has to be 2 barracks. I was just wondering where the second one was. The second one was there until right before I, got there. So, quality over quantity. I did miss micro a little, but... if you don't have any anti-air, and there's a Liberator on your mineral line, game over. Like, that's where we were. And if I had lost 2 Reapers early, then that could have happened quicker. Like, he actually didn't find anything with his first, like, Reapers 2 and 3 are very important because that's when you should have a Reaper advantage. But if you don't do anything with it and then they start getting factory units out, then that's when things go downhill.
Welcome back to Bronze League.
Sure.
Another game of Starcraft.
We're going battle cruiser. Oh, he sniped. I was like, I recognize the name a little. Then again, everyone who actually plays StarCraft in my stream for any meaningful amount of time usually gets to Diamond.
Supply depots
So.
are in short.
Hey. We're gonna scout. I'm not taking any risks with this. Well, you could get 140 more minerals in 5 minutes if you didn't scout. Okay.
What's going on? Be ready.
Now we see if he gets the gas.
In the rear with the gear. Big job, huh?
Just gonna patrol it.
Hear me.
Factory.
Your command center better than ever.
Another SCV. Reactor. Control 1. Depot. Shift click. SCV.
What's going on?
No minerals for that.
Second refinery. Set up hotkeys. Shift click. Keep building SCVs at home.
The enemy is all over your SUVs.
Okay.
And
My cameraman duties are complete. Does he start with a creep tumor? He does not. Let's flip these over. Just going back home with the Reaper. Do we have 16? One more.
your add-on has been constructed.
Move this over.
But at what
Couple more SCVs. Fusion core. And I'm not taking any chances. I would usually go for a Viking first, but I'm getting a Banshee. I'm gonna send the Reaper out for a scout. Two depots. Let's go see. Roach all in? We're gonna find out. Oh, nice catch. Go back. Can you guys get out? Nope. Start a battle cruiser.
insufficient energy? Need more minerals.
This better be good. Roger that.
Gonna get something on the edge here. Double gas.
enough minerals. Are you saturated yet?
I'm gonna do a little bit of micro. There's not much else to do right now. Don't lose the Banshee. 2 more factories. More SCVs. Couple Hellions more. Send the Hellions out. Gonna move the Banshee over to here.
SCV ready. Sound.
Jump. Build a new one.
You got no minerals. Good job keeping that money down. CC upgrade.
Making more SCVs. Target the drones.
Build there.
Get the armories. Scan for Spire. Hydralisk Den. Move base.
Landing zone is more locked than our supply.
Tanks. Another.
Why not? In the rear with the gear. SCV ready.
Gonna have the Hellions out here. We're gonna use this to actually take things out. Get Blue Flame.
You must construct additional depots.
Are you ready for this?
Control click out the battle cruisers from select all army. Use NG Bay as part of wall. Expanding forward because it makes it easier to attack with mech.
SCV ready.
Prepare.
Are you ready for this?
Double upgrades. Scan to see this base and also some tech. Painlings with speed. Spire on the way.
You picked that one.
Good to know.
SCV ready. Sure thing.
Another base.
You can't.
SCV ready. SCV ready. Huh?
Make sure we have the basic defense.
What's going on? SCV ready.
Research finished, but I'm still waiting on high-sec auto track.
SCV ready. SCV ready.
Need more minerals.
SCV ready.
Ed,
That one okay. Getting some
nope.
basic
You took all the
anti-air.
minerals from that cluster, you thief.
Gonna get a sensor tower.
More supply depots.
Just targeting drones here before jumping.
SCV ready.
Nobody sees this. This has never happened before.
Ah! Just go ahead.
Upgrades finished up.
SCV ready. I'm heavy message.
Start 2-2.
You need more gas for that. And I
Go into high impact mode. Move SCVs over
Don't mind
here.
that mineral field.
Sensor tower, planetary. Use that tactical jump
Find out of
cooldown.
that cluster. And still in the game? Nice.
83 SCVs is too many.
No minerals for that.
Send out Hellions. I mean, it's an okay number, but like, it's a little on the high side for sure. Check for Hive. Infestation Pit is nearly done. Lurker
CC
Den.
upgrade done. You remember it.
I'm gonna get all the other upgrades here.
Not enough minerals.
In the rear with the gear. It's a hot action.
You got no minerals. Base under attack. It's time to get to the corner and frag.
We're back home. Those aren't
Forces
real.
under attack.
Get the tanks in position.
Army is under attack.
Planetary's helpful.
You're all mined out
Unsiege
that.
most.
Your upgrade is complete. Mineral research.
Oh, really? Ready to raise some hell.
3-3.
Ready to raise some hell.
Not enough minerals.
Ready to roll out.
We'll just go for it.
Your research is complete. You took all the minerals from
Auto repair with SCVs.
mineral field.
Those are dropper lords. I don't know if there's anything in them. Take another
Down
base.
there. Flying's more fun anyways.
You scared me.
No minerals for that.
Serious micro.
Mind out of that cluster. Still in the game. Nice. More minerals. Not enough minerals. Are you saturated yet?
He doesn't have anything for the Widowmines yet, but that was a little sloppy. Take these gases.
You got no minerals. Good job keeping that money down. Not enough minerals. Are you saturated? Your CC is now BCC, a better command center.
Another base. Should probably get a couple more tech labs. Tanks are going to be obviously important.
Upgrade complete. But
Get
that
some
one less
ravens.
You're at a good start.
3-3 is done. He has 2-0. I got 3-3 mech, which is more.
You took all the minerals from that. Mineral pad, we need more minerals.
Are those vein drops? Okay. I still have most of my mineral mining. That was sloppy.
Go ahead.
Out of gas at that geyser, but turtles.
Be ready.
Close enough.
Got no patience. Give up.
A mineral field has been defeated. They're all mined up that. CC upgrade. Well, that worked fast.
Close. Why Thors over tanks? Because I don't know if Broodlords are going to show up, and Thors are very hard to kill. There was a point when I actually should have had a few more tanks. But, like, when he had Hydra Ravager, but I was trying to mix in both. Is it one more? One more for D1? I think we'll be making some progress into it, though. Who's this guy?
I'm sure this one will be better.
Catmon dead. That's Angry Coach live. Catmon dead from all the too much money he's spent on me for Angry Coach. He is one of the best late game Terran players I've ever seen who's still in Diamond. Mostly because he has like a chronic issue where he tunnel visions something like a 2 or 3 medevac drop, loses it, and then has no army and has to claw his way back because suddenly he has to play defense until he has dozens of liberators, which usually does pretty well. He's been in several Angry Coach marathons and Angry Coaches. He puts his money where his mouth is. His mouth says, I don't know how to stop doing medevac drops or paying for Angry Coach. And I say, don't do that. And he says, you can't tell me what to do. You're not my dad. And I'm like, well, your dad didn't say anything. It's like, well, that's part of the problem here, isn't it?
No minerals for that.
Oh, good. Now I have your attention.
Okay.
Not enough minerals.
Give us your command.
Oh, a follower. Is that all?
Love the stuff. So fun to watch. Thank you for the stuff during these trying times.
That was just lazy.
I am here in the shadows.
You got no minerals. Good job keeping that money down. Research complete, but have we learned anything? We need more minerals.
Okay. So probably a liberator to start. But we will see.
In the shadows.
Well, there's a casual clone.
I am here in the shadows.
Can't warp there. Regulations.
Alright, let's get these pylons set.
You must construct additional pylons.
Uh-huh.
Warp there? Oh, you.
Alright. Now we've got those probes. Time for the gate explosion. And by explosion, I mean ramp up to a reasonable number. Also a
Your
forge.
warriors are under attack.
As well as a twilight. These are drop defense. Speaking of,
Mineral probes are under attack. It's a disaster. Research all done.
alright. So we have a Raven. Cool.
Not enough minerals. Can't warp there. No minerals for that.
Also has a third.
Army under attack.
Important
Select
amount.
all and panic. You took all the minerals from that cluster, you thief. A mineral field has
Another
warp
base.
there. Oh,
Did I get the Templar Archives? I did, right? Yeah. Get me some Archons.
more gas. How many guys does that want to?
Assault data locked.
Can't warp there.
Because
Regulation.
robo time is precious. So
Research finished, but I'm still waiting on high sector.
78 probes. Alright, we're good. That's enough.
Can't put it there. We've been over this. More gas.
Assault data locked.
You got no minerals. Good job keeping that money down.
How many gates? We could use a couple
An
more.
upgrade's been completed.
I'm gonna send a zealot out. One more warp in for the main army.
Not enough minerals.
Get
Are
the
you
upgrades
saturated yet?
chronoed. Hello. And this is the move. We gotta get blank. Chrono
Upgrade
boost.
completed. You're all mined up. That
If I can get rid of some of these tanks.
mineral field complete.
Assault data locked.
Now that's the command.
Or prism in the main. If you don't spam the select the army hotkey, then it becomes a lot easier to attack two different places. Close. Close. But not quite. Still under 100. Will you give Cat Undead a free angry coach? I mean... You did it on purpose with 99? I mean... Yeah. That's kind of the point. So, what it seemed like to me was one, like, there's nothing that stands out from his build. Like, his build was okay. It went fine. Like, the early pressure didn't do much. But then, like, you let a warp prism in your main, it warps in 15 charge lots. That's literally just a knife in your back. You can't let him stab a knife in your back. Yeah, like, besides the maybe a few extra minerals, some supply blocks, like... Just gotta have minimap awareness and basic defensive units. Like, literally 2 cyclones stops that from happening. Like, I really like when we're not doing angry coach, and I haven't been talking to chat very much, when it's like, okay, let's do a little bit of coaching, let's give some tips, and everybody's like, oh yeah, I'm in. It's like, oh, I wasn't asking for volunteers. There are too many cooks in the kitchen, especially when some of the cooks have never cooked anything competently before, have a far too high opinion of themselves, and were not invited here and are just kind of annoying everyone. The answer is either sensor tower, a Viking on patrol. Honestly, the easiest is probably a sensor tower at your third. Then at least you have a chance to see it. Building 1 Viking to have some sort of reaction, like, that is the simplest way.
Some fire here.
Command center. Energy gone.
Okay, so that killed... The harass killed... Well, 1 probe died to a marine. I think the Raven got 1 kill. So a Liberator and a Raven. The Liberator died and the Raven got 1 kill. So that obviously isn't the most ideal. Do you usually put turrets up in your main? At least in the most obvious locations for a prism. Like, he literally has nothing. Like, you gotta have at least a depot. Right there. There was no vision at all. I'm not saying put 8 turrets. I'm saying put 1 turret. So, like, look at the vision. Look at the vision right now. Besides the fact he's very supply blocked as soon as enemy units appear. Like, the upgrades are pretty good. Liberator range. Of course, no Liberators because of aforementioned supply block. But you just, like, you can't... This can't be the first time you're seeing the Warp Prism. Like, you can't. It's been 10 minutes, and this is the first big mistake, and it's a fatal one. You can't just have 12 Zealots in your base with no warning. There are plenty of ways to stop it. You could invest some of those 1,900 minerals and 600 gas in them, I'm sure. But, and I'm sure, like, he definitely knows the armies right there. The charge lot's in the main. Obviously a bad deal, but we gotta fight the army. The problem is... Also not ready for the army. Yeah, on the bright side, they only made 1 mistake. 1 big mistake, at least. But you can't let that happen. Like, when you're taking a 4th base, A third base is the first time, and obviously each base, but a third and fourth bases are the big times you're open to counterattack, especially when you're not maxed out. And that was exactly what I was doing. I'm like, okay, he's taking a fourth. It's not a planetary. He's not maxed out unless I've done something horribly wrong. So, some forces come back, some forces to the front. If he makes a mistake, I'm going to do damage somewhere. So. And now, so a big issue with a lot of Diamond Protoss, like, well, why isn't it that easy for me? So we're gonna so control groups are when you have groups of units under your control instead of just mashing the select all army hotkey and then tripping over yourself to try to not screw yourself over with the select all army hotkey. What I'll see so much of the time is like, well, I know I shouldn't use the select all army hotkey, so I'm going to spend 45 seconds microing this warp prism. Then when the warp prism dies, now I will move with the rest of the army. This problem is immediately solved by learning how to use control groups. But I'd say a solid 50%. It's the worst. It's the biggest deal for Protoss. Because Protoss, like, all you need are 1 or 2 units not on the Select All Army hotkey. Boom, you're good to go. Whereas Zerg and Terran are a little more complicated. But I'd say between 50 and 60% of Protoss at Diamond just don't use control groups. And even if they do, they don't. They don't use them in a way that is meaningful, like a Warp Prism to me. So. And that is why they're Diamond. I've seen too many replays. Masters. Wow.
One way or another, you got this.
Oh, he's a Zerg.
I've never seen this screen before.
That's how you do it. Alright. Easy peasy. We've got how much till Masters? I think we got, how many have we done today? This is gonna be shorter. I want the series to be 10 episodes. So, what that means, this will be episode 8, right? Am I counting correctly? Was the last one episode 8 or 9? Or 7 or 8? I'm pretty sure it was 7. We don't have a backlog because of the season restart. It was 7. So this is 8. I want 9 to be Masters, and then 10 is Beyond. That's the plan. So I think we're going to go till about 4150. And that'll leave us about 300 out. And then I will do another episode to see how far we get into Masters. But I do think Masters 2 might be barely on the table, but that's when it's going to start being either I will fail at the challenge, or I will lose the game. Possibly
Remember,
both.
Don't panic. Okay, maybe a little panic. You got no minerals. Good job keeping that money down.
Jimmy! Get off the phone!
Pylons, pylons. We need more minerals. No minerals for that. enough minerals. Not enough minerals. Are you central? Enemies attacking the probes. How could you let this happen? How many times? Still can't work that. Pylons are the powerhouse of the
Well, that is suspicious. If he doesn't take a third for a minute or two more, for about a minute more actually, getting a sentry second. I usually wouldn't do that.
Give us your command.
more gas.
What, did he just take the other one? No. This is, my star senses are tingling.
Dimensional strings attuned.
He has Overlord speed. Which is something. He's now taking a third.
Research complete. But have we learned?
He's got another hatch as well. Does he have a lair? He's building one. So what this means to me is we need to think about Archon sooner rather than later.
An AOD martial law. Let us begin.
Can't warp there. Regulations.
Warp field online.
I'm gonna get an Immortal.
Yeah, no.
We're gonna get the Templar Archives.
Can't warp there.
Don't want to waste the Oracle energy.
Can't put it there. We've been over this.
Get over there, Oracle. Tell me his secrets. That's a lot of things. Okay. His secret is he has a lot of links. Crazy secret. I'd imagine he goes mutt-mutts now. Upgrades.
Warp there? Oh, you.
No, I had still had the Oracle turned on.
Yes.
We could solve a lot of this problem by just... If he has the gas, that's almost certainly mutt-mutts. So, chrono boost.
Morgan. Defend that. Army under attack. They're not immortals. Well, need more pylons. Or
More pylons, please.
research is done. More Vespine gas. You upgrade is all done. You need your warriors are under attack.
Oh, he's got hydras. This changes things a little. Go away. In that I might need storm. I don't know yet. Oh, he's already got lunkers. Okay. But that's not the end of the world.
Need more minerals. Mind out of that cluster. And still in. Put that thing in a power.
This is where not using the select army hotkey will come into play.
Mind out of that mineral field. You took all the minerals from that cluster. Mineral patch is gone, and it's not coming back. Mind out of that cluster. And still in the game? An upgrade's been completed. You need more gas for that. Cal, worlds are under attack. It's a disaster. Power pylon's being deconstructed by the enemy. You engage the enemy. Didn't I teach you to put those in a power field?
Let's get another oracle.
Your precious pylon is falling. Save those probes. You can't go Canada without them.
Oh, he still has lurkers. Oh, that was a terrible recall. Thankfully, these guys have done some real work here.
Enemies in your base. Looking for your Artosis pylons. Mineral field depleted.
Yeah, it's pretty apparent he saw it. I don't want to talk about that. How are you even stuck?
Your pylon is under siege. Your probes are under attack. Your probes are now is under attack.
I got really messy here for no reason.
How could you let this happen?
I really need the Templar archives. That's the most important one.
Upgrade completed. Your forces are just a little bit.
I'm gonna lose a lot of tech as well.
A mineral field has been depleted. Your base is under attack. You need a base is under attack. You recall. They're attacking your base.
So he just has a bunch of hydras. Is the prevailing issue. And I can't build enough gates to stop him. I shouldn't have gotten so fancy. Classic mistake. I also don't have any more detection, do I? There's still a lurker. GG. I really fucked that up.
Another recall.
He only had 44 drones. Was it over? Yeah. He has 93. It was close. I deserve that loss. I could have, like, instead of going and just putting everything together to go kill him, I'm like, let's slow it down. Also, Storm is good. I need to slow it down. But then, the problem with then slowing it down too much is I have to scramble to catch up. And that was the issue. 121. What a failure. I will go Storm. I don't know why I said, like, I said we're doing Masters builds, and then I'm immediately, we're going to skip Storm. Don't skip Storm. That's the summary. I have, well, here will be my not even a good... This is a terrible excuse because it doesn't even apply. But let me show you... let me show you my main in that matchup. Let's take a look. How does Winter SC do against in Protoss versus Zerg?
Oh, good. Now I have your
He dies.
attention.
He dies is what he does. Basically an RNG loss. No. RNG would imply there was some semblance of luck. A lot of people like to blame it on fate or on random chance. But I don't think it's very random when someone is fucking terrible. That's on them. Or in this case, me. Learn to play. Get good, as they say. He did a good job of keeping it together as well. I'll give him credit on that. Like, instead of just, oh, well, I guess he has too much. He scrambled, he gave up some ground, but kept it together.
You got this. One way or another.
This is going the wrong direction, by the way.
No minerals for that.
We're supposed to be getting to a point where we'll get masters during the next one, not go backwards.
More overlords.
What in the hell?
Overlords?
What is his keyboard, like wingdings? Based on everything here.
You got no minerals. You gotta keep that money down. Not enough minerals. Are you saturated yet? Need more minerals.
First Overlord just heading out, seeing if he's expanding. Second Ovi is making sure I don't get cannon rushed, essentially. Okay. I thought there would be an adept involved. It appears no, at least for now. When in doubt, more queens. I'm gonna block this area. Is he just expanding?
Queen's all done. Good choice.
2 stalkers, which is an odd sight for sure. All right.
Nope, no building that. Have no minerals for that.
That's a lot of adepts now. It's starting to ramp up a little. They probably are gonna have glaives.
New queen.
I'm gonna get up there. More drones.
You can't do your discipline.
He's playing real careful here. Like, seeing more than 3 adepts is when you start wondering what he's up to. I've got a perimeter of overlords to spot any prisms coming in. We've seen how important that can be. Gonna get +1 attack, 44 drones, 2 base saturation.
Needs more energy.
He's just chilling. That's a DT. He just warped in a DT.
Not enough energy. Not enough minerals. Are you saturated yet? Your brood is under attack.
Does he still have the deets? Wasn't an observer, or the stalkers would have seen. Yep, it was a deet.
No minerals for that. Not enough minerals. Need more minerals.
Will he just use it for, Archons, maybe? Or is he gonna do a full-on gamble?
Oh, a follower. Is that all?
I'm spreading the creep because it's super important for vision at this point.
Good job keeping that up.
Was he gonna go DT blink? He might.
Gas.
It's on the table here.
All done evolving. For now, anyway. You're all mined out of
Oh, I don't have
Your brood's
vision
stronger
to this side.
now. You
Okay, bring these guys up.
not enough minerals. Are you saturated yet?
Target fire Archons. So that was a weird build, but sure. It wasn't a good build, it was just weird. Seeing the DT warp in was a little lucky, but like, if he doesn't attack and he's just sitting there with gateway units, then you're gonna need some sort of spore crawler action. But eventually a Protoss will do something. Just need to have a medium economy. He made a total of 32 probes, which includes, of course, the 12 he started with. $109. Yes, it's 100 for Terran and Protoss, 120 for Zerg, just because Zerg is super hard. No, it's just Zerg is a little bit artificially inflated by how their mechanics work. Thank you, the Lolly Smasher, for 20 months. Winter should do 50 APM challenge. Yes, go check the first part of this for the 50 APM part. This is part 8
Oh,
at
here
this
we go
stage.
again.
A lot of Protoss. Oh, but it's better with time. I've seen a pretty high amount of cannon rushes in PvP. I guess it makes some sense. It's like, well, cannon rush will work 2 out of 3 times. And against Terran, I guess technically it can work, but like, I don't think he trusted me. Don't do it. This is just a scout now. His probe might feel pressured. I'm breathing down his neck. Do probes breathe? I'm not arguing semantics. But come back here. Come back here. Let me show you. Let me show you how we do it on our side of the map. My cyber core is significantly earlier. Like, so significantly earlier, I'm gonna go adepts instead of, I would have gone for, stalkers, but with almost a full adept build time advantage, like,
The firstborn shall persevere. We serve with pride.
I'm gonna use that. And there's no, like, the thing is, his cyber core is done at a certain time. There's no way you can get tech earlier than that. That's just, like, you don't get any more tech earlier than that. So. It's just not how it works.
We need more minerals.
Let your will be heard. Najakar Nina.
Not enough minerals. Are you saturated yet?
We are of one.
You want to block?
Yes,
I'm probably gonna need to do the same.
ire shall be reclaimed.
Did he cancel it? Yes. Now the adepts are in. But so are his.
Combat awaits.
Save those probes. You can't build cannons.
I killed his adepts.
Give us your
I have an so the big win. I don't know how many probes I lost. I think 1 or none. And he definitely didn't get a scout, so I come out significantly ahead. Because he also went for adepts that I also let into my base. Because I'm bad, but
You got no minerals.
I'm just gonna get my third. So let's see if he freaks out to the Oracle.
extrapolating strings.
Oh no,
Destined. You seek guidance.
that Oracle is halluc. Is that Oracle halluc? I don't. And also it came from kind of a weird angle here. It did though, like. Okay. I think I'm still in a great spot here. I think we're kind of looking at a Void Ray all in. Maybe. So where did that... It wasn't in his main, though. I guess it could be off to the left side.
You must construct additional pylons. Can't put it there. We've been over this.
Let's see if he's still building off it. I guess that's the relevant info here.
More pylons, more power to you.
Oh, okay. More shield batteries.
No min.
I need to build an immortal. So I'm kind of... Just get a shield battery up here as well. Where the hell is that Void Ray? Okay. Hello, Mr. Void Rays.
Not enough energy. Now that's the
I still don't know where the Stargate was. It's so obviously it was somewhere. I'm gonna go ahead and guess. Wow, so I scoured the edges. I'm gonna guess it was like right here, which is a weird ass spot for a Stargate, but like here. So the event. Oh, I'm wrong. I meant here. I meant the opposite side, same space spot though. Oh. Oh yeah. All right. Well. So his adepts kill one probe, or maybe that was just his first. No, they kill one probe. I kill 5, which is more. Which is more. Just blowing people's minds with that one. How'd Winter know there was a proxy? So, he had Stargate units. There was not a Stargate in his base. I know it's a big logical conclusion, like it's a big leap. Maybe his Stargate was cloaked. Maybe he had built a mothership and then cloaked the Stargate. Maybe that would be a big brain move. What if they were hallucinated? If he got his hallucinated oracles to kill my probes when I had a shield battery, I want whatever he's having, okay? What is your opinion of Mothership in the meta? Thick. Oh no.
I'm sure
More
it'll be better this
Protoss
time.
versus Zerg. Will it be better this time, though? What do you... Like, is that some sort of mind game? He's not playing random. Is that like a mind game for me to tell him my race because I'm random? I was gonna do it anyways. But I truly wonder, does he not know about this button you can click and see what race they are? It will say random, if they are random. It's whatever they selected, but...
Pylons are the powerhouse. Not enough minerals.
Also, I think he did a proxy hatch. And he was thinking about a proxy hatch. Now he thinks I'm map hacking because I saw it with the first damn probe. It's like, how did you know?
Not enough minerals. Are you saturated?
I saw it. That's how. That is bothersome. Actually, it's not worth it. Just
Need
give
more
us that.
pylons, or free up some supply. Pylons,
He was too busy
need
typing
more
things to
pylons.
notice that. Call in the team! He was too busy typing to notice that my probe saw his fucking drone. Speaking of which, where did the drone go? There it is. He's like, well, I'm doing a proxy hatch. How did you see this one? Alright.
You got no minerals. Good job keeping that money down.
Get him,
Probes
drone.
are under attack. Your base is under attack.
What a save. How do you like it, my friend? Ha!
Research is done. Your forces are just a little bit better.
How do you know? Hex? Are you one of the Hex?
We are one with the shadows. Justice be done.
More Hex?
You must construct. Not enough gas.
Special eyes. Me and my special eyes saw it.
More pylons?
Here come like the Mutt-Mutts or something. Roaches with speed. Disruptors it is. What a save.
got no minerals. Good job keeping that money down.
I return to serve. Engaging the enemy.
Failing us. You're not real. How?
Not enough no minerals for that. Not enough minerals. Not. Mineral.
Let's not get too fancy.
Warp there. Oh, yeah.
We need to see if there are mutt-mutts.
Upgrades.
Consciousness awakening.
Mutt-mutts on the way.
I spot.
Mind out of that cluster. And still in the game.
But we'll have a nice window.
We got no. Not enough minerals.
Your demands.
So, disruptors, by their nature, do have to be microed.
Pylons are the power. How many times? Still can't work that. Pylons. Need more. Mineral field depleted.
He seems drunk. No, he's just a Zerg player. That's true. Individual units are gooder. I will give him that. He's microing his mutas. To what end? Units are just a little gooder. I can't, is that a pullback? Okay. There's good, Zerg, gooder, Terran, and goodest. Yes, obviously, Protoss, right? Do the math! The numbers! Look at the numbers. It won't take me down when I'm not alone. I will not come back this time. It's not far away. I'm not coming home. Because I'm already at home, staying at home. Like you should be. That is the obvious conclusion to be drawn. Okay, so we're solidly into Diamond 1. Two rough losses, to be honest. And more wins, but a couple rough losses. But Jimmy says it's time for an ad. We haven't run an ad for quite a while. It's a tough time for everyone, I know, but gotta get that dirty esports money. Thank you guys for watching. I'll be right back. Welcome back, everyone. I'm Winter, and I'm here to update you on some very important information. Are you relying on Amazon Prime for most of the things in your life right now? Well, if you have Amazon Prime or you have access to someone's account information with Amazon Prime that might be too old to know how to use the internet correctly, then boom, you can connect it with Twitch and get Twitch Prime. Twitch Prime is the best way to get some of the most exciting, mediocre mobile game content like twitch.tv/prime. This isn't everything. This is just a taste. You can get the Mafia City Prime bundle. You can get the World of Tanks Cosmic Care package. You would think if they were Cosmic Care packages, they would probably just be spaceships, but no! Don't forget the Teamfight Tactics Little Legends Egg. There are dozens of people out there clamoring for that, Nick. Be yours. But wait! There's more. Did you know that with Twitch Prime, every single month, for free, you can subscribe to a streamer of your choice, and if you don't subscribe to this stream right now, every second you waste, you're losing money for me. But, if you have that Twitch Prime, you're good to go. If you don't, that's okay. It's just a few clicks away, and someone else's account information. Thank you. Good luck, have fun, and have a great night. Subscribe, or else. Thank you guys for sticking around. I know ads are annoying. But thank you, Vape Lord, for that sum. First, I'm gonna talk about for a few minutes and take questions. We're not done playing or anything. But we'll let maybe we'll see if there are any decent questions, but all right. What are we explaining? I'll be right back. I mean, obviously, we're explaining a little bit of both at all times, but specifically, be right back. Thank you for watching.
Oh, good. Now I have your attention.
Sure, why not? Take those dirty esports money.
Okay. I'm gonna answer both. Okay? I'm a man of the people. I'm gonna answer both. But for the first one, I'm gonna... We're first gonna talk about ladder anxiety. Which is something a lot of people have. Like, I don't know if I want to press the ladder button. The ladder button.
Is that all?
There's one guy. I want to reference this guy. Like, friend of mine. He can be a dick, but I think sometimes he makes some good points. So we're gonna... Do you suffer from ladder anxiety? Do you feel that pressing that play button and actually playing some Starcraft or Starcraft 2 is too difficult? Are you stressed out that you're gonna lose? Or your friends are going to make fun of you because you still play StarCraft and get with the program? We're playing a teamfight tactics, which is the only way to make League of Legends bearable. And they were Diamond back in 2011, and you're only Diamond now, so that means you're a noob? Well, they're wrong. You're not the noob. They are. Because they're not using SC2ReplayStats.com. I think the best way to defeat ladder anxiety, if you have an issue with... I just don't want to lose. Like, I'm afraid I'm not going to get that rank. Like, I'm not going to move up this game or next game. The thing is, it's not about the next game. It's not about 5 games from now. It's not about 50 games from now. It's not about 5,000 games from now. How many games do you think Cyril played before he won WCS? At least 5,000. I don't know the exact number. At least 5,000. I played well over 5,000 before I first got Grandmaster, and I'm not even Grandmaster this second today. But the way to defeat ladder anxiety, to get back to my original point, I think is not making it about winning or losing in the game, but about improving. And that way you set goals that you can win or lose with, but they're much more achievable, and that they're easier to find. So I bring you SC2ReplayStats.com. For free, you can access the SC2 Replay Stats Training Center twice a day. And let's be honest, do you play more than 2 games a day on average? If you do, I recommend using the $5 Elite version. I don't even have a promo code. It just goes to running the site. So what happens is with your SC2 replay stats account, you can put up a replay. Let's a relatively macro game. Let me find. Let me just find a game here. This was a relatively macro game. Going back. Dr. Ryan even. So, what it's going to do, this is more effective the lower level you are. There are hundreds, if not thousands, of replays. It'll literally tell you, compared to the next league up and all those thousands of replays, what you're not doing, as well as for me, a Grandmaster player, for you maybe a Diamond, or a Gold, or even a Silver player. Make sure you're building units out of production facilities, keeping supply block time down, spending resources. But what does that mean? Raw data points. I'm not building as many workers as I should be. I have too many idle workers. Pick one of these points at early, mid, and late game. Pick one. Workers produced is a great one. Supply blocked is another good one. If you have all those, pick another one. But if you set those goals, even if you lose the game in-game, even if you lose a few ladder points today, you will have the tools and motivation and baseline knowledge you need to build those blocks up the staircase. You don't need a ladder if you can just walk up a staircase. That made sense. Go play today. That made sense. So, what are the biggest mistakes of Diamond players? I'll go to each race specifically. We'll get into it a little bit. And there are a couple stereotypes. I find Diamond is the biggest split of, like, there are players who got to Diamond barely, and then the players who will probably move out of it and up eventually. That's a smaller percentage because that actually takes, like, there's a certain amount you have to play each day, or you're just not going to get there. Like, most people, if they're not playing at least 5 games a week, will probably not be Masters. All right, you don't put the time in, you're not going to get it. But we'll start with Zerg, because Zerg, I think, has the most dramatic split. There are some Zerg players who got all the way through Platinum by learning how to Baneling Bust pretty well in every race, once again. Like we have the 2 Raxers and the Cannon Rushers and all of that. But Zerg has the highest percentage of, well, I got really good at building 18 drones, and I made a whole ladder career off of that. It's like, okay, calm down, no regret. It's okay. We're going to learn how to play a macro game now. But so many Zerg players they'll be like, well, if my Baneling Bust fails, I don't know, I guess I'm going to try to go Mutas or something. You got to learn, at least try going to 60 drones. And I don't think most people who watch guides, or me specifically, are like, well, Winter, how do I adjust my Baneling Bust or my Roach Bust to be better? I doubt it. But those are the players who are essentially advanced Platinum players that snuck into Diamond and usually won't move up. For Protoss, those are the people who, the second level of tech is the most important for Protoss. I've said that a few times, but like your first level of tech is your robotics facility or your Stargate or whatever. The second level is the follow-up, and for Protoss, most of the time that's the most important, unless you're very good at cannon rushing, which I'm not. But so many Diamond Protoss players are like, okay, I got the Robo. We're building Immortals. And then by the time they get Archons, they have 1,400 gas because they just straight up forgot their Templar archives. Wait, that is... I'd say most Diamond Protoss players who aren't cannon rushing, once again, that's a whole nother deal, Florencio. But if they just got Archons 1 to 2 minutes quicker, they would be Masters. It just seems there are so many things in the way, and Archons aren't the be-all, end-all, but they're pretty close. They're pretty close. And so many times it's like, well, I gotta micro my Adepts and try to get 3 more drone kills at the cost of not doing anything else for a minute. Not getting your second level of tech is the biggest mistake I see in most Diamond Protoss players that are playing that style. And for Terrans, one, besides being whiny bitches, and let's be honest with ourselves, I'm 1/3 Terran, some of my best friends are Terran, but besides that, is also adding on production. A lot of Diamond Terran players, like more than any other race, and I'm basing this mostly off of North America. But Terran players are the most likely to be like, well, I watched 47 hours of Maru to finally craft my build order, which has specific timings, and then I got 780 minerals microing my Reaper. It's like, just because you think Terran is the superior race and requires micro doesn't mean you're right. I see so much. It's like, I don't know how I did so much damage. I did the 2-1-1, which is a build that isn't even that good at a higher level, but I did a 2-1-1. I killed a base. I killed 46 drones. Not 46, okay, that'd be a bit much. But, like, I killed 14 drones. I killed a base. I killed, like, 4 queens. And I didn't build a third. I didn't build a third, fourth, or fifth barracks. I didn't build an armory or anything behind it. But I did so much damage. Why does the Zerg still have so much? So many Terran players are wannabe Marus as opposed to wannabe Masters. That is, by a large margin, the biggest thing. It's more than any other race. Like, the Zergs will micro their Mutas or their Zerglings. The Protoss will be like, I have Oracles or Adepts. But Terran players have a little bit of everything. It's like, I'm microing this Liberator, these Hellions. It's like, no! Calm down. You actually don't. No, it doesn't make you. Every once in a while, they'll win and get that dopamine rush of, I actually split my Marines, my 3 days straight without sleep in MLG Marine Split Challenge map finally paid off. It's like, well, what if you had built 4 Widowmons and 3 Marauders? Wouldn't it have been easy? But no! But adding on production and remembering armories exist is most of it. Whether you're playing mech or bio, to be honest. But adding on your second round of production, your first round, most Diamond players are good at the first round, which is your first 2 or 3 barracks, maybe your first 2 or 3 factories. But adding on 4 and 5 of those major production facilities is always too late. Like, essentially, I'd say 95% of Diamond Terran players, it is too late. Their production is too late. And that is a major factor. Like, so many players will be like, well, my unspent resources were very low. It's like, because you queued up 4 tanks in a factory, my friend. Good job on that, I guess. What about Diamond Zergs that are not Advanced Platinum? That's a good point. I did not cover that. There are so many that are Advanced Platinum, but there's the levels of unlocking Hive Tech. The Advanced Platinum players only unlock Hive Tech if their Baneling Bus kills all but 1 SCV and somehow the game goes on 27 more minutes. The medium players will be like, so I'm maxed out on Hydras. He's sitting on the top of a ramp with siege tanks. Let's give it a shot. And then all the Hydras die and they're like, I know. And then the players who will improve are the ones who, and this is specific to Diamond, or otherwise they wouldn't be Diamond. The highest level of the low-level players are, I started my Hive, I got my upgrades, I have my tech, and now right before my Hive finishes, now we run up that ramp. That is the highest level of Diamond Zergs, because if they just didn't run up the ramp, then they probably wouldn't be Diamond anymore. But at some point, we're running up the ramp. And running up the ramp is a metaphor for a lot of things. Like, into Storm, or into Lurkers, or getting completely out of position in ZVZ trying to chase down 3 roaches because you can't use control groups. And just generally, that's a big one. Biggest for Protoss, second biggest for Zerg. Terrans are not as bad on it, because once again, they're sweaty tryhards. Like, maybe take a shower. When it comes to the Selecta Army hockey, because honestly, Protoss players come cruising in here. They got whiskey in one hand, they got a blunt in the other, and then they bring their controller out and using it with one hand half the time. It's like, bam, Storm's right there. And they're like, I don't know why I'm not Masters. It's like, you have to bind the Templar Archives to your X button, obviously. I don't. What do you do instead of running into tanks? That's a great question. I'm glad you missed the second part of it. So obviously not a higher level diamond player. Where I said they don't run up into tanks before getting a hive. And then the hive implies, let's be specific, Vipers, Broodlords, Lurker hive upgrades, 3/3 anything, all those things you've never gotten. How do you break offensive siege units as Protoss in the mid-game? Immortals and Archons. If they have like a bunch of ranged Liberators or hive tech Lurkers, then we're not in the mid-game anymore. And if they show up at your front door and you're like, how did 4 Liberators get here? Maybe you should try looking to see if he's attacking you before getting stuck in your base under a Venn diagram of freedom. So, I will actually, now we'll general questions. I will take general questions until the general questions get too dumb. Which could be very quickly. But, do you have a Ling Bane all-in build to train Ling Bane Micro and ZVZ? I mean, not really a build. I usually get 3 bases. I get 3 bases. Thank you for the biddies, Sad Panda.
Yo, Winter,
What was I
haven't
saying?
been on
Ling Bane.
in a while.
28
Good to
drones
catch
and then
up
Lings
on
and
your
Banes,
stream
unless they're
again.
walling in with roaches,
Hope
in which
all is
case,
well.
go roaches. What is your general rule on how often to scout? I mean, as much as possible. I guess if you have to make a rule about it, it's at least once a minute. You kind of get a built-in feeling. Once again, I'm not. Here are the numbers. But you kind of get a feeling of, well, I haven't seen anything for a while, so I should give it a shot. I think that amounts to around once a minute. Hey, you boy, Jury. I spend too much on upgrades before having an army. My one roach has 2-2. When's a good time to start 2-2? A good time to start 2-2 is after you have 60 drones and 100 supply. So that implies you have some army and queen supply. If you have the money, then sure. If you spend all your larvae, are not supply blocked, have 60 drones, and have the money for 2-2, boom. Probably around 8 or 9 minutes, maybe a little earlier if you're on point, but you're implying you're not. How do you properly micro medevacs when moving out of BioArmy? Don't fly them over areas that your Marines can't walk. The solution here is not to load everything into the medevacs like many players seem to think is one. But instead, just use your eyes. I'm not saying, like, I don't micro medevacs separately. Sometimes I'll, like, control click them, but I know Maru sometimes has medevacs microed separately, but no way I'm doing that. I started adding ghosts into my Terran army, but they're useful against Zerg when not... Are they useful against Zerg when not trying to snipe late game units? There are early game builds that revolve around ghosts, but ghosts are not like let's get to ghosts. They are a late game or maybe early game, but mostly late game unit. Like Ghost Hellbat all-ins. I would not recommend them until you need to snipe things like Broodlords, Lurkers, or Ultras. Do you listen to songs chat recommends? No, I don't like torturing myself. How do you beat late game Zerg? Zerg late game with Toss? What army comp do you need? I mean, the ideal army composition is like 6 carriers, 4 Tempests, 6 Templar, 6 Immortals, and 6 Archons with a mothership. You're like, but Winter, that's hard to get. Well, if he's over there with Lurkers, Queens, Vipers, Corruptors, and Broodlords, you're like, well, that's just a simple, boring unit composition. I want to be able to A-move. In that case, maybe Archons aren't going to cut it. Do you see a lot of Diamond/Masters? Do you see a lot of Diamond/Masters 3 players trying to be perfect? And what would your advice? I feel like I kind of covered that, but I see a lot of players who they seem to think they're doing their build well and are really focused on it. And there's a lot of different things. Like this, there's no way to stereotype this. There's 2 sides of it. One is like they're just not doing it well. They're just not doing it nearly as well as they think they are. Which is like 2-1-1 for Terran, where like they get in, they do a lot of micro and damage, but it was 30 seconds late, and now you're even on workers at best. And then there are the people who are like, I'm focusing so hard, I'm just doing nothing else. It's like, I do this build and I have nothing, and then the lack of a follow-up is what keeps them in Diamond or lower level. Why Elite AI, one base all in me? I have no idea because I do not know what the Elite AI does because I'm not a bitch. I am mid-plat Zerg and I have a hard time against the classic Archon Immortal Charge lot. Hydras, Lurkers, Roach Hydra, a lot of Roach Hydra. Like, and also not Selecto Army hotkey, but mostly a lot of Roach Hydra. What counters Lurkers? Immortals and Archons. You might be like, but my Immortals and Archons don't work. Well, like, it's a numbers game. If you have 3 Immortals and 3 Archons and they have 15 Lurkers, that's a no. But if you have 5 Immortals, 5 Archons, and they have 6 Lurkers, then it's a maybe. Also, Oracles are very good for... Now, once again, this comes back to the Selecto Army issue, since over 50% of Protoss are not really utilizing control groups in any meaningful way, and are instead rallying all their units. That's why Lurkers, like, I lost a game to Lurkers as well, because I was kind of lazy on detection. One of the very few. But if you just YOLO your entire army in and all your observers and oracles die, the reason you die to Lurkers is because you can't shoot at them. You need to micro your detection a little bit. If you use the Selecto Army hotkey and you die to Lurkers, I have nothing for you. That's the summary. I have nothing for you. You will keep dying to Lurkers. Continue. The Zergs will be happy Lurkers actually work. I am good Zerg. And I have trouble with Terran Siege Tank Marine. These are two different things. Creep. Upgrades. Not attacking up a ramp. How do you deal with Colossus as Zerg prior to Vipers? And not dummy a ton of supply and tech into Spire and Corruptors? It depends. Like, if they have 5 Colossi... I'd say the limit is 3 Colossi. If they have more than 3, you either need Corruptors or Vipers. Technically, Lurkers can work, but not really. But if they have 4 Colossi, that's 800 gas, plus a Robobay, that's 950 gas, plus Thermal Lens, 1,150 gas they spent on Colossi. Give or take. And if you're like, well, my roaches aren't cutting it, it's like, well, sometimes you do need to pick something out. The answer is spread and Lurkers until they get too many, in which case you do need Spire and Vipers. Is Dropper Lords ever a good idea in a macro game? Yes. At Diamond. Like, that's one of those things Serral can do and make look good. Whereas, it's like Baneling Mines, where literally... I'm going to go ahead and use Serral as an authority, because if anyone is an authority. But Serral has literally said, like, Baneling Mines aren't worth it, because the vast majority of the time, they hurt you more than they hurt them. Like, even if you kill 30 Marines with a Baneling Mine, you probably have wasted more time trying to make sure that Baneling Mine works, that you're actually further behind than you would have been if you didn't do it at all. So, though it is flat. Remember that one time Scarlet did Baneling Mines? Like, how to kill a 90 drone mass Lingbane Yellow Zerg in TVZ. Build a wall and play mech. Might be like, I don't like playing mech. Well, too bad. Maybe Terran players shouldn't be on their high-ass horse over here like, I should be able to play 2 entirely different unit compositions equally the same in all scenarios. Fucking Terran. We should have 2 equally viable unit compositions, like the other races. Alright. It's time for the most advanced build. Which is, of course, the 1-1-3. Which is, undefeated. And undefeatable. If the Koreans can play bio. What did I just say about Terran players trying to be Maru, failing horribly and getting frustrated because they won't take the actual solution? Oh, that was it. That was what I said. It's like, no, I want to play like Maru. But also,
No
every
minerals
time
for that.
speed mains come in, I lose 34 Marines.
SCV ready. In the rear with the gear. SCV ready. SCV ready. SCV ready. Bad news. SCV ready. What's going on?
You must construct that on a Vespine geyser.
I know.
SCV ready. Yep. Go ahead.
Wait, the 113 involves... Oh yeah, you gotta put it in the
SCV ready.
orbital. You get an orbital with the 113. Obviously.
Hear me.
Very important.
Huh?
We gotta get that wall off action started. The 113, designed by
Command
Kybrit,
center upgrade.
who has proved to us that one truly can play StarCraft for fun, as long as they have a bunch of disposable income to throw at streamers to look at their shitty games.
SCV ready.
He has a incredibly blatant and malignant disregard
Not enough minerals.
for how to actually play StarCraft.
You got no minerals.
And seems to not be. I'm pretty sure this guy is failing busting, by the way. So we're gonna get a backup bunker.
Yes, sir. SCV ready.
We've also
Armed and ready. SCV ready.
what is he doing down there? Is this Marine dead? For the greater good. For the greater good. Okay, we gotta get engineering bay. No. Oh no. Well, I would say that was worth it. I did that. I crunched the numbers. One.
No minerals for that.
We're almost at the 3. Oh no, there's more. But wait. On away. He'll never find. I was like, maybe a few more Zerglings. We'll do it.
SCV ready.
Drop the mule over here so I don't mine out my main as fast. I forget, was there a Banshee involved in the build? Come and get me.
That's fine.
Can't build there.
I don't know if there's
Your SCV's on
anything
strike.
involved with the build on a regular basis. Oh, he's hunting.
CC upgrade done. Yeah,
He's got even more.
SCV ready. In the rear with the gear ready.
Is there, oh yeah, the Rich Vespine base is in the center. You might be like, can you afford battle cruisers on 3-star ports? It's about visualizing your dreams, okay? That's the most important part. You need to visualize that you can afford 3 battle cruisers at a time. You subscribe with Twitch Prime, and anything's possible. Okay? Like, I might not be able to
Add-on
afford
complete.
3 battle cruisers at one time, but in my heart and in my soul, I still can't. But maybe someday. Like, and also, like, there's maintenance, there's downtime. This way, like, because you know, the starports, like, they're overworked, underpaid. Usually, starports are just sitting there, 4 or 5 battle cruisers queued up. Like, you need a vacation.
Oh, good.
And the SCVs, like, we don't want them unionized.
Sir,
That
yes,
could be
sir,
terrible.
French
Thank
fries.
you, Bubba's. We got to be very careful about that.
More supply depots.
Just gonna give him some mandated downtime at the starports. All right, now he has more lings. Okay. This is the ultimate duel. All right, let's just begin the travel.
Subscriber detected.
We're gonna go for the bingo build, which is of course the
Now
4
I have
corners.
your attention.
You need more gas for that.
Where those lings at? Trying to pull a sneaky on me? Hmm?
Yep. SCV ready. Huh? SCV ready. Got it.
Where did he go? Oh my, what the hell? What was that? What was that weird bat thing? Okay. No, my bear. There's also a Hydra. This is like they're walking the.
Mind out of that cluster. And still in the
There was
game?
also one.
Nice.
There were 2 mutas and 1 Hydra.
What's going on?
Cause you never know. Okay, what's coming up next? We're gonna have 1 Lurker, 2 Swarm Hosts, but the Swarm Hosts will not use their Locust. I'm making predictions.
Mineral field
Is
has
that-
been depleted. You took all the minerals from that cluster, you thief.
We gotta do some SCV transfers.
SCV ready.
Oh,
Man center? Better
no, my barracks. He's got Hydras. Run away. Oh, actually, that's a lot of Hydras. Repair. What if I put this here? We get rid of this useless depot. Also, and we make that a planetary. Alright. Mm-hmm.
Rear with the gear.
research finished, but I'm still
But
waiting on
but
high
where? But where was that nice? Hello, boys.
Need more minerals. Not enough minerals.
Thank you for joining us.
Upgrade complete. But at what
That's right
cost?
there. Oh yeah, usually the 113 has 1 or 2 tanks just for flavor.
CC
Something
upgrade
just
done.
popped out.
Remember this time? Wow.
Oh no.
Your CC is now BC.
No touching.
Your add-on is all done.
He's so close. It's like the only place, because everybody knows, like if you look at a mini map in the Metal Leagues, it's actually not there. You might be like, wait a second, I thought I had a mini map in my games. How many games has it been since you checked?
Your forces are just a
Huh?
little bit better.
Do you actually know? Like he might not be able to. If he hasn't downloaded that minimap DLC, which you don't usually get access to until like Diamond, he doesn't know there are other bases on this map. So, there's a lot to think about there. What a pay-to-win game.
Supply depots are in short.
Why do I need more depots? Yes, those were drones. I think a creep tumor. He's got me on the ropes. Honestly, right now, I feel like
Build supply depots.
if I was on this just one base, then this would be very bad for me.
You're all mined out of that.
He found it. Oh no. He downloaded. He went to the Epic Games store and he downloaded that minimap DLC. Which doesn't seem very fair. Oh, rip tank.
You got no upgrade is all done. Good job keeping that money down.
SCV ready.
An upgrade's been completed.
In the rear with the gear. Huh? SCV
I need to build units.
CC upgrade done. You remembered.
Alright, the upgrades are slow, like +3, almost done. We got Neo Steel armor. Big, huge moves.
CC upgrade done. You remember this time? Wow.
SCV ready.
Why do I still have 6? Oh, 6 idle SCVs. We gotta get. I need another SCV delivery. He's like, I found his hidden base. I found it. It was back there.
SCV ready.
Little does he know.
What's going on? SCV ready.
Light flight's here.
SCV ready. Big job, SCV ready.
Tank doing great work. I think he's looking for more. If he finds another one, I think it's gonna spur the thought process of, wait a second, if he had another one, he could have more. Oh my. There's a Nidus. That sounded like it was off to the left, but I don't know how reliable that is.
On my way.
I actually don't know if you can hear it like sound cues.
Got no patience for sitting around. SCV ready.
Go away.
SCV ready.
Mined out of that cluster.
SCV ready.
Aye.
Big job,
Would you like to talk about our Lord and Savior? The Overlord?
Your command center? Better than ever.
I don't know what I expected.
Go ahead. It's your dime. Ah, you scared me. Huh?
Your upgrade is complete.
Yep.
Refinery depleted.
Fresh melon, this one's for you, you douchebag.
enough minerals.
What's going on?
Did he? Was that it? Was that the end of it though? I haven't heard anything else.
SCV ready.
Okay, I think we're not there yet.
Yes, sir.
I'm gonna
No more
build
gas up
a
there.
dozen sensor towers in the bottom
You
right
took all the
corner,
minerals
and
from
then
that cluster, you
okay.
thief.
How long before he reacts to him?
A mineral field has
Ballpark.
been mineral patch is gone.
Now I have your attention.
Mineral field depleted. You
We're not there yet.
What I do I learn how to counter this?
can't build there. It's like you never
Primo
even had a
guide.
plan.
Primo guide. No, we gotta.
No minerals for that.
What? Those are planetaries.
Not enough minerals. Command center upgrade. Your CC is now a BCC, a better command center. You're all mined out of that mineral field. Mineral patch is gone. It's not coming back.
In the rear with the gear.
CC upgrade done. You remember this time? Wow. You got no minerals. Good
That's
job
not how
keeping that
mules
money
work,
down.
by the way.
The
Just in
enemy
case
is
you're
attempting more
wondering.
minerals. Not enough minerals. Upgrade complete. But at what cost? No minerals for that.
What's going on?
Your precious base. Your SCVs will be DED if you don't stop. You got no minerals. Good job keeping that money. CC upgrade done. You remembered.
Bad news. Sure thing.
CC upgraded. But at what cost? Your base is under assault. Mind out of that cluster. And still in the game? Nice. Build that. That's enough. You took all the minerals from that cluster, you thief. Base under attack.
This much I know is true. I can often send you, Parker boys in blue.
The enemy.
Fire all batteries!
Not enough minerals.
You. To his credit. To his credit. Immense credit. I don't think English was his first of languages. But he knows where he made his mistake. Well, maybe not the scale of it, but I think he saw me walling off on the high ground, and like many, you guys, I don't know why suddenly, like, this whole time we've been in Diamond. So this whole time, and suddenly he's Platinum, and it's a massive revelation. Like, oh my god, he's Platinum. I've spent the first 3.5 hours of this video, which you should like and subscribe right now, talking about how even Diamond players make massive mistakes, and how advanced Platinum Zergs make it to Diamond. And you are now like, huh, he's Platinum. Like, everything just went out the goddamn window. You forgot everything, just like he forgot other bases could be on the map. And this is why. And this is why the cycle continues. People have a higher opinion than they should. I'm not saying Platinum is bad. Platinum takes a lot of work. What I think happened to him was he saw, oh, he's walling off. Oh, he's stuck on one base. What a noob. He was trying to bamboozle me, but in turn, I was the bamboozler. And at the end of the day, it's about who gets boozled and who isn't. So I'm glad he took it so well. Credit to him. And unfortunately, we have to lean a little into credit for Kybrit for the inspiration, mostly the money, but mostly inspiration. No, not mostly, both things. Mostly money, somewhat inspiration, but it's been fun to cap these off. We have maybe only one, maybe two more episodes until Masters. And I hope you found this educational, and if not, at least entertaining, and if not, educational. But if neither, then how have you made it this far into a video? You might be like, Winter, I just joined the stream. Well, if you said that, you followed at least 15 minutes ago, because we have 15-minute followers mode. Because my thought process is, if you can't survive 15 minutes of the stream without talking, then I probably don't want to hear what you have to say. Just like, if you can't spend 15 minutes working on your build and looking over your replays, then you shouldn't complain, I don't know how to beat this. How do I improve? Spend 15 minutes of your life saving hours, days, however long. SC2ReplayStats.com will help hold your hand, but only you can walk across the finish line. 5 games a day, maybe too much. 5 a week, maybe play some Zerg Hex, whatever. Just put 3 games in, commit to that. And maybe, I believe, you can get to Masters. On the next episode, or maybe the one after that, I will show you directly how, but maybe you can beat me there. Thank you for watching. Like, subscribe, all of that. Good luck, have fun, and press that play button. Thank you for watching.